Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Heroes Connect Military to Manufacturing event. My name is Lauren, and I am a program manager with the Heroes Make America program, and I will be moderating today's event. I am so excited to have the Kinetic Group with us today. They're here to share more about their company, the wide range of employment opportunities available, and to answer any questions that you might have. Events like this are designed to help you, our military affiliated job seekers, gain a better understanding of the manufacturing industry and build direct connections with employers who are actively hiring. Before we kick things off, I would like to cover a few housekeeping items. First, this event is being recorded and will be sent out as a part of an event recap email. Next, please ensure that you stay muted throughout the presentation to minimize any background noise. And lastly, although our mics are muted, I still encourage you to be an active participant. Utilize the chat feature during the presentation to drop in questions that you have, and we'll answer those questions at the end of the event during the Q&A portion. Overall, events like these are your opportunity to join the discussion and ask questions of these industry leaders who you may not normally have access to. So let's go ahead and take a moment to practice using the chat feature. Go ahead and open up the chat and share the location where you're seeking employment. And if you know it, please type in the position or functional area that you're interested in. So while you're doing that, for those of you joining us who are not familiar with the Heroes Make America program, we are a DoD-approved SkillBridge and Army Career Skills program that is open to transitioning service members, veterans, reservists, National Guardmen, and military spouses. We provide a variety of certification trainings equipping our students for rewarding careers in the manufacturing and supply chain industry. You can see here our program managers, the location and virtual options we have, as well as our current training pathways that we offer in manufacturing operations, logistics, industrial systems, as well as airframe and power plant. In addition, we also offer a CNC and welding training options in partnership with another training provider, Workshop for Warriors, out of California. We will drop in our contact information to the chat so you'll be able to connect with any of us if you do have any questions about any of these training pathways. And don't forget, just spread this information to your battle buddies. So even if one of these training pathways might not be for you, if you know somebody that this could help them in their post-military career search, please share this with them. All right, so without further ado, let's move on to our featured presentation today with the Kinetic Group. We are going to kick off this presentation with a little video, and then I'm going to pass the floor right over to Miss Tarina.
There's an energy within us, one that ignites our passion for pursuit and to give fair chase. It's this energy that defines our purpose: to conserve the outdoors, to educate and preserve our shooting sports heritage, and provide the courage to stand tall. And it's this energy that guides our products. Products built by American workers with a resolve for American performance. We are a collection of the most respected and renowned ammunition brands in the world. Manufacturing freedom, one round at a time. The Kinetic Group.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, I love that video. Never gets old. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. Thank you to Lauren and the Heroes Make America team for organizing and having us back on again this year. We are very excited to be back to share more about the Kinetic Group and tell you about careers in ammunition manufacturing. Before we get started, I want to make sure that I extend a most sincere thank you to all of you for your service. And if we have any military spouses on today, I want to thank you for your support for your service member. I am Tarina Pleasant, Senior Manager of Talent Engagement for the Kinetic Group and U.S. Army veteran. I was on active duty in the Army from 2005 to 2009, serving as a 25 Quebec multi-channel transmission system operator and maintainer, or more plainly, communications. I also served for a short time as a military spouse before my husband retired from the Army in the summer of 2020. Many years, moves, and a degree later, or finally, I stumbled into the most fulfilling career opportunities, serving the transitioning military community through the USO transition program. I learned a lot in that role, and it's where I learned about Heroes Make America. And it is the very reason I'm so passionate about the transition space. Another move brought us to Arkansas, and that's where I found the Kinetic Group, and I began my career here with Remington Ammunition on their marketing team. And now for the past 3.5 years, I've had the opportunity to work in talent acquisition and talent engagement with the company, bringing more passionate people into careers in our industry and building opportunities for our employees. One of the most common questions I get asked at the end of interviews is, what do you like most about working at the Kinetic Group? And my answer is pretty simple. I found home here. Veterans often feel displaced or dislocated after their time in service. That's something that I personally experienced. No matter how much you prepare, there can be a void and a loss of connection after separating from the military. But I found that there is a similar camaraderie in the hunt shoot industry. The passion our employees have for what they do outdoors sparks them to produce, innovate, and promote our products. That passion and interest for the outdoors is comparable to the camaraderie I miss so much about the military. Next slide. Perfect. Our brands lead in every category and are the heart and soul of our company. Our portfolio includes renowned brands serving in diverse markets in defense, hunting, and shooting sports. We are B&P, CCI, Federal, Fiocchi, Heavy Shot, Remington, and Spear. And between these 7 brands, we have more than 800 years experience manufacturing ammunition. We have 4 locations. B&P, Fiocchi, and Heavy Shot are all located in Ozark, Missouri. CCI and Spear are in Lewiston, Idaho. Federal is in Anoka, Minnesota, which is also our headquartered location, and Remington is in Lone Oak, Arkansas. Next slide, please. The Kinetic Group employs over 3,400 employees across the U.S. We build ammunition for hunters, shooters, our U.S. military, and law enforcement. We engineer and manufacture the most accurate, powerful, and reliable ammunition in the world. We are part of the Ammo Plus division for the Industrial Technological Group, CSG. CSG is a dynamic group of more than 100 manufacturing, development, and trading companies based in several European countries and the U.S. with over 10,000 employees. We manufacture high-quality rimfire, centerfire, next slide, please, and shot shell ammunition, as well as the components for hunters, shooters, U.S. military, and law enforcement. Next slide. Our mission: to build better ammunition in America, to create community, power defense, and conserve our heritage. Our vision: to extend our leadership in ammunition as the most recognizable, trusted resource and champion for hunters, shooters, shooting enthusiasts, and defenders of freedom across the globe. Our purpose: sustaining long-term value means excelling in the marketplace, in our communities, and in supporting our employees while continually fostering the positive heritage of our products. Across the Kinetic Group, we rally for the customer by fostering collaboration, sharing insights, and scaling competencies. We engineer our products in ways that match the drive of the people who put them to work on the field, on the course, and on the battlefield. Next slide, please. We believe in conservation and community. We build more than ammunition. We believe in the power of community, and we are passionate about supporting organizations through charitable giving, fundraising, volunteering, employee support, and so much more. all while continually fostering the positive heritage of our products. When you join the Kinetic Group, you're not just starting a job, you're becoming part of a community that cares. As we progress through the presentation, you're going to learn more about our people, our products, and why this industry has become home to so many. Next slide, please. Our employees at the Kinetic Group are passionate and committed to delivering quality products to our customers. We have a variety of positions at each of our locations, including, but not limited to, engineering and product developers, logistics positions, shipping and warehouse associates, maintenance, human resources, IT, marketing and sales. Next slide, please. As well as assemblers, charger operators, process technicians, ballistic testers, quality auditors, manufacturing associates, and many more. Next slide, please. We also offer meaningful opportunities for interns to help students develop their skills as they contribute to a global company. Next slide. Okay, let's get into the good stuff. I'm going to hand over the presentation to a couple of our team members to introduce themselves and share a little bit about what they do here at the Kinetic Group. First up, we'll have Jeff Arsenal. He's a senior category manager at Federal. Cody Albright, he's going to go after Jeff. He's an operations manager for CCI and Spear. Travis Franklin, he's a product manager at Fiocchi. I'm going to be covering down for one of our presenters today, Scott, for Heavy Shot. And then we'll have Ronnie Evans. He's a product line manager at Remington. So first up, we're going to have Jeff. Jeff is going to share a little bit about his military background, his passion for the industry, as well as federal ammunition. But first, a quick video, and then we'll hand it off.
For more than 100 years, Federal has been crafting the world's finest ammunition right here in Anoka, Minnesota, providing great career opportunities for those who live in our community. We believe in the power of people working together in a creative and supportive way. That's why we have a team-oriented work environment. We want all of our employees to truly be a part of our company, participating at all levels of the decision-making process. From planning to measuring results, Federal makes sure employees have the freedom to be creative, enjoy their jobs, make a difference, and grow in their careers. We offer competitive industry wages and a benefits package that starts day one, including medical, dental, tuition reimbursement, 401k savings with a generous company match, and discounts on Federal products and those of its sister companies. Experience it for yourself. Check out available jobs at Federal and apply today.
My name is Jeff Arsenault. I work for the Kinetic Group as a senior category manager. I sit at the Federal plant in Anoka, Minnesota. I've been with the company for approximately a year. I was in the military from 2006 to 2010. My first duty station was Fort Irwin, California, where we worked at the National Training Center and trained soldiers for rotational pre-deployment activities. I was a 35 Fox all-source intelligence analyst. After that, I spent some time at Camp Red Cloud, which doesn't exist anymore, so I guess I'm a little aging myself a little bit there. I enjoyed my time in the military, went into the military after I graduated from college, but went in as an enlisted, thinking I wanted to see things from the ground up to understand how that organization worked, and then decide if it was something I was going to make a career of. After I got out of the military, I went to college at the College of Saint Scholastica with the post 9/11 GI Bill using the Yellow Ribbon program. I got an MAM and an MBA in change leadership and business leadership. And then also while I was in the military, I picked up a degree in Associates of Applied Science from Cochise College while I was in AIT. So I kind of used the military as a way to continue my education and prepare myself for the workforce. Prior to coming on here at Federal, I've worked in outdoor adjacent industries, most recently with Polaris. And I thought to myself, how can I get off the machine and a little deeper into the woods? And that's how I ended up here. Through my experiences as a sourcing manager in the past. I came on with the team, and my responsibilities are brass and plated steel. So if you think about brass, we're bringing in, 25, 30 million pounds of raw material and converting it into our end products, which you saw in the video of rimfire, shot shell, and your main centerfire rifles. What I find rewarding about the job is the end user is going to use our products to do a very specific task, and that differs whether you're in the military or whether you're a young hunter taking your first animal. So I take pride in the fact that knowing that by doing my part of the job, I'm allowing either that operator or that young soldier to accomplish their task, or that child to create their memory with their family or with their father and have an experience. So I really enjoy my time with the company here so far. And I can say that it's unique to some of my past places that I've been employed, because everybody that I've interfaced with is passionate about the products they make and their time in the field. So it's a very great place to be, and it's been very rewarding for me in my short time with the company thus far. Next slide. And then just a little bit about Anoka, Minnesota. We employ about 1,200 people here. They build everything from, your economy target shooting products to the top premium products at this facility. We also build a lot of components that get transferred to and from our other facilities. And it's not just an independent center, it's part of a larger network. And I, in my role, interface with a lot of the other individuals that are making components and finished goods at the other facilities. I'm going to be handing it off to Travis, and he's going to cover Fiocchi and B&P.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Travis Franklin. I am the product manager here at Fiocchi USA and B&P USA. I've been here for about 5.5, going on 6 years. So Fiocchi manufactures a broad range of ammunition, whether it's rifle, handgun, or especially shot shell is really what we're known for. Our facility here in Ozark, Missouri, where I'm based out of, has been producing ammunition since 1983. And our parent company, where we were founded, was in Lecco, Italy. And they've been producing ammunition since 1876. So quite a long heritage and, a lot of history and experience behind the brand. And we really take a lot of pride in what we do, and as both Tarina and Jeff have said, everybody in this industry, and specifically within the Kinetic Group, are very proud of what we do. You really find people who are passionate about their job, not just their individual job, but also just passionate about the industry itself and being a part of such an awesome industry. So here in Ozark, we've got about 200 employees, primarily in manufacturing, mostly in shot shell, as well as some limited centerfire pistol manufacturing and some bullet manufacturing. So on the manufacturing side, it's really a lot of operating on production lines, running, whether that's a priming line, running a bullet press, running shot shell lines, and then as well as all of the support network, whether that's supply chain, sourcing, finance, sales, marketing, product management. But it's really a very team effort, especially at Fiocchi. Again, a smaller facility, only about 200 employees. It's definitely a team-oriented environment that relies on a lot of communication and attention to detail, which, coming out of the military, many veterans are already bringing those skills with them. A little about myself. So right out of high school, I joined the U.S. Navy. I come from a long line of veterans going back many generations in my family. And so followed along and was an aviation machinist in a helicopter squadron based out of Norfolk, Virginia. I spent about 1.5 to 2 years roughly at sea. including a 10-month deployment over in the Persian Gulf, the Indian Ocean, and a little bit of time spent in Masira Island, Oman. You probably haven't heard of it because there's not much to talk about there. When I transitioned out, though, I knew I wanted to be in the outdoor industry in some capacity. So I actually started out just at a gun counter, selling firearms at a gun store. That company ended up branching off and starting a ammunition loading facility. So I went over there, worked in production, and really just volunteered for every trade show, every product demo, any event I could to get out in the industry and meet more industry folks. And after about 6 years there is when I got a call asking me to interview at Fiocchi for a product management. And I've been here for about 6 years now. So, you know, can't say enough good things about working in the outdoor industry. As somebody who grew up outdoors, I grew up hunting and fishing, and to be able to work, as one of at one of these brands and alongside all these other brands, it's a phenomenal experience. But won't really keep you too much longer. But one thing that I did want to leave y'all with, when I transitioned out, I didn't have a plan, and do as I say, not as I do. I didn't have a plan, had a pregnant wife, no job, and no apartment, no plan lined out whatsoever. But one thing I did know how to do is work hard. And as a veteran, don't ever think that your service is automatically, or that veteran title is automatically going to bring you success. The discipline and the work ethic that you learned in the military, that's what's going to bring you success. It's very easy once you're in the civilian world to hit the snooze button when there's not a cranky E7 ready to tear your head off if you're 5 minutes late. Don't hit the snooze button. You're already used to waking up early and being 15 minutes early and working hard. Be that person that shows up 15 minutes early, works hard when no one's looking, and that work ethic is going to take you farther than anything else will. So, thank y'all for your service. Super happy to be here and happy to present and talk to y'all about the opportunities within TKG. And hopefully we'll see some of y'all around the outdoor industry.
All right, thanks, Travis. First and foremost, I would also like to start by saying thank you for your service. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to discuss the opportunities that we have here at CCI Spear. My name is Cody Albright. I am the weekend operations manager, and I've been with CCI for 18 years now. A little bit of my background. I graduated from Kinetic High School in 2003. I went on to study business management and human resources at the University of Idaho. Unfortunately, after my sophomore year, the college sent my grades to my mother, and she took me off what I like to call the Albright Scholarship, and told me also to go apply at the Bullet Factory. What I thought was going to be a temporary job turned into a career that I never thought was possible. So I was hired at our entry level as an assembler 2 in primer assembly. From there, I went on to become a team lead in center fire assembly. And then in 2015, I transferred to the chemistry department. In 2021, I was selected to be part of our supervisor training program, where I became a supervisor in rimfire priming. And then I've been in my current position for the past 10 months. I always say I grew up here. I had leaders that not only believed in me, but most importantly, they challenged me. When I look back at that time of my life when I was hired here at CCI, I was lost. I didn't have any direction. I just failed college. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I was 21, and as my mother kept telling me, I needed to grow up in a hurry. The company provided me with mentors and resources to find my path in the world. So here at CCI, we have 3 facilities. We have the CCI plant, or what we call the main plant, Spear, and then our Southport facility. At the CCI plant, we have 2 assembly departments, a rimfire and centerfire, along with some customer departments, some metal parts departments, our plating department, and then also some environmental stuff. CCI is the leader in rimfire ammunition. Like on the slide here, you have some large rifle primers that are being packed up at primer assembly at our Southport, and then also some 22s that are being made off our line 5. Everything that we make is great for the average shooter. It's also used by professional shooters like the 22 Plinkster. They enjoy our products every day. We also make products for law enforcement and other government agencies. Our Gold Dot ammunition is the cornerstone of our factory, with contracts with NYPD, LAPD, and Border Patrol. We make ammunition not only for the weekend shooter, but also ammunition that protects our communities. The Spear plant is where we make our bullet cores. So like our 308 172 grain Spear Gold Dot tip bullet is on contract with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. And then we also make a 224 Gold Dot that is preferred by LE agencies across the nation. Southport is where we have our chemistry departments, some rimfire stuff, and then primers. At every location, you will find men and women that use our products, that they build. They really care about it to be a part of the best team in the industry. CCI Spear offers a lot of opportunities right out of the gate of your employment. We offer leadership programs. We offer testing that will allow you to jump from entry level to higher classes within a year of employment. When you start at a new company or experience some sort of transition in your life, there can be a feeling of starting over. We want to give you the resources to be successful and grow within the company right out of the gate. We just launched a new leadership development program. In this program, we have supervisors teaching real life scenarios to you that will provide you the tools to be leaders in your current role, and then provide training for them to move up within the company. We really like to promote from within. Again, thank you for your service. Our servicemen and women make sacrifices every day, so people like me have the freedoms that we all take for granted. So I can't thank you enough. And at this time, I'll turn it back over to Tarina to discuss heavy shot.
Thanks, Cody. All right, as noted, Scott wasn't able to be here today, so I'm going to do my very best. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm going to kick it over to you, Ronnie, pretty quickly, but I'm excited to share just a little bit more here about heavy shot. So founded in Sweet Home, Oregon in 1999, Heavy Shot is the industry leader in high performance non-lead shot shell ammo designed by hunters for hunters. Think tungsten super shot blends, bismuth loads, and steel hybrids that deliver lethal patterns at extreme ranges for waterfowl, turkey, and upland game. Heavy Shot slogan, "I didn't come this far to miss," is a mindset you'll recognize from the field. Dedicated hunters seeking to outperform steel shot, Heavy Shot pioneered heavier than lead, HTL technology, using dense tungsten matrix pellets that shatter barriers, reduce drag with irregular shapes, and maintain energy farther downrange. All loads are hand assembled, power charged, crimped, and tested in-house, from pellet formulation to final packaging. Next slide. Awesome. That's all I've got for Heavy Shot. I'm going to pass it over to Ronnie with Remington. Take it over, Ronnie.
Well, hello, guys. First off, like everybody else, we'll tell you first and foremost, appreciate your service and thank you for what you do. Don't have any service myself, but I've had family members and friends that have, and I understand the sacrifices made by those families, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Again, my name's Ronnie Evans. I've been with Remington Ammunition for 31 years. I've done a little bit of everything with this company, from kind of like Cody. I come in on the floor as a level 1 quality auditor and have worked through operations, got into leadership, got into sales, back into leadership, managed 2 of our 5 operational areas, primer manufacturing and our Lone Oak 2, which manufactures 9mm ammunition exclusively, and got back into product management. I did a short stint in product management a couple years ago, and then the opportunity presented itself again and got back into it about 3 years ago with product management side. Why did I go back into product management? Well, much like some of these other guys, I'm also an outdoorsman. I like to shoot sporting clays. So to manufacture ammunition and use it, I'm kind of like the golfer that gets to make golf balls. I understand what we're dealing with, and I like that part of the business. It's one of my favorite parts of it. Remington here has been in Lone Oak, Arkansas, and manufacturing ammunition since 1969. So it's been here for quite some time. The company name brand has been a company since 1816. So we've got 209 years of the name Remington has been in this industry. But again, we started here in 1969. The first round to roll off was a 30-06-180 core locked. That's a name that a lot of people know with synonymous with Remington also. So it's been around for quite some time. We employ about 650 people at this time. We've been as high as 1,200, but at where the market is right now, we're at 650. We manufacture, like you said here, shot shell, center fire, and rim fire, and we make primers for all of those. So that's another part of our operation here as well. You go ahead and go to the next slide. But as you can see here, just to kind of give you a brief synopsis to understand, when you look at videos and things of that nature, you see loaded rounds. Well, that's just a very small part of what our business is. 75% of the stuff that we do here in this facility is metal forming. Everything from brass, steel plated material, lead, all those things. Then you get over energetics. Then you start seeing the loading and packing operations where you actually see finished rounds. But what you need to understand, there is such a support group around those operations, everything from maintenance to electrical. When I say maintenance, I'm talking millwrights, welding, plumbing, carpentry, electrical guys that just, we have electrical engineers. But then you also have the people on the floor that actually touch the product. They're the ones that make this thing go. Your level 2 operator who operate that piece of equipment every day, make ammunition for making sure that it meets specification. Our ballistics group that does all the testing and weighing a product to make sure it meets our specification. That way we turn out a product that it does what it says on the side of the box. That's important. The box has got to look good, and the product inside of the box has got to look good and do what it say it does. Right? So if it's at 1,500 feet per second, it runs at 1,500 feet per second. So those are things we look and test. And there's so many jobs inside of this organization that support those types of roles. So from technicians that actually adjust the equipment, to millwrights that work on the equipment, to operators who run the equipment and test it, to quality people who check things, everything throughout this facility, even like product managers as myself, leadership, from supervisors to managers, just the list is on and on. So this is a very good place to grow. I've grown here in 31 years. I'm able to have a family and make a good living, enjoy what I've done for a very long time. And I need 10 more years at least. So I need to have 10 more years to get to the end. That's something I tell these guys all the time. They look at me as a has-been sometimes. I say, guys, I got to have it 10 more years. So I say that a lot. But no, I cannot imagine myself doing anything else. This is, I tell people all the time that hunting and shooting and things of that nature is, it's really a lifestyle. It's more than anything. It's not just a passion. It's what defines who I am as Ronnie Evans, and being able to work for Remington, a brand like this, connected to so many other good brands, outstanding brands like CCI, Spear, Heavy Shot, now Fiocchi and BMP part of the group. It's really good to have that connection with all these excellent brands and to make this TKG group an excellent place to work. So that's how I'll close that, is you cannot go wrong if you get the opportunity, I promise you. So with that, I'll turn it back to Tarina.
Awesome. Thanks, Ronnie. Well, I love hearing that story, Ronnie, and I love hearing it over and over because there's so many, just like Cody and Travis. And I know, Jeff, you're a little newer to the Kinetic Group, but you've been in the industry. And so really this is a company where people come to make a career. It's a very familiar tone of I started here and I grew up here, or I started here and this is where I found myself. And there's many, many people who have stories who their parents worked in the facility and they've taken over and started to, work in the facility. And that story is just it's everywhere. When we kind of go through our service awards and that recognition, there's often many people within that 20, 30, 40 year category, which is just incredible. I just don't know that you see that very often. Well, this is the end of our presentation, at least this portion. And I hope your primary takeaways are that we make an amazing product, we work with amazing people, and we love what we do. I still remember walking into Remington for the first time in Lone Oak and feeling like I was about to be part of history. And that feeling still hasn't left me. Thank you to Jeff, Cody, and Travis and Ronnie for coming to share more about yourselves, your careers, and your brands. And to the Heroes Make America team for facilitating this event today. And before we head into the Q&A, I just want to encourage all of you to please take full advantage of what the Heroes Make America program offers, and to reach out to me personally. My contact information will be in the chat and here on the screen. The transition from the military back into civilian life is a challenging journey, and some of you may already be experiencing that. From my time working in the transition space, I can tell you that not all transition programs are built the same. And the Kinetic Group continues to partner with Heroes Make America because of the great care they take in preparing all of you for a new career in manufacturing. And one more item, please be sure, if you have a chance, we do have tailored job alerts. So if you head to our career page, you can sign up for opportunities. I did see most of you in the chat talking about what your interest is. You can sign up for an account and be notified for when an opportunity becomes available. And that's all I have. And thank you for joining us. Lauren, I'll kick it back over to you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And let me take a look at the chat here. I do have a few questions just to kick it off. If you do have a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat. But Ms. Tarina, so I noticed your team mentioned the comprehensive benefits package. I think it was in one of your videos. Can you tell us more about what that includes, and just really understanding the full value of the benefits package is just such an important part of evaluating a career opportunity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's absolutely something everybody should take into consideration. You don't want to leave the military without considering the benefits package. So yeah, we have a 401k with 6% match. We offer 120 hours of PTO. We have medical, dental, paid parental leave, just to name a few. We do have the option to buy into PTO as well as sell. Let me think. What else am I missing? But yeah, we have a pretty comprehensive package, and we can absolutely share more about that. And I'd love to give a little preview of that to each of our attendees as we reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know our audience includes folks just in all stages of transition, some preparing to separate, they're looking for a job yesterday, and some it could be a few months. So when would you recommend that they start applying for roles within the Kinetic Group? And then what can they expect about the kind of timeline as far as from application to hire?
Great question. Well, I always say that networking and indicating interest early is the best option. We are very military friendly company, so we do understand that there is going to be some of those gaps in those times and spaces. So for us, that's why that interest form is really important. We're actually in the process of building out our own military landing page that's going to give service members that opportunity to indicate interest and connect with us early, and so that we can start reviewing those resumes. So early, I would say within the last 2 months or 3 months of service, really, I want you to start reaching out. We do want to connect with you and hear more about your expectations, your goals, your journey, and what it looks like for you, as well as, working through the Smart Resume feature that Heroes Make America offers. We're excited to be partnering with you on that. I think that's going to be a really exciting feature for service members to take advantage of, for us, because we use it. We're in there daily. And then what was your second question, Lauren? I'm sorry.
Let's see here. I was looking at the other questions reading, so I'm sorry. What they can expect as far as the timeline from when they interview. Yes.
Yep. So as far as the interview process goes, ideally, we love to have opportunities filled within 8 weeks. I don't like gaps in time. I do take a lot of pride in the fact that our team is in constant communication. And even if you're not selected for a role, we are personally communicating with you about, opportunities and where you can challenge yourself to come back and apply with us. But typically we like to close it or open and close a position within 6 to 8 weeks.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And so I have a question in the chat specifically asking about distribution centers. We heard a lot about the manufacturing facilities. Do you have distribution centers as well, or is that all in one?
So we, as far as I understand, and I might want to have my guys jump in here, we don't have any specific distribution. We work with retail partners. Is that correct, guys?
Well, we have our main distribution hub that all product goes into Anoka. Then outside of that, it's distributed to everybody who buys. But there's one main hub in Anoka, Minnesota.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Tarina, I love your perspective as well, because I lovingly refer to you as a unicorn because you are the service member and you're also military spouse. So, and I apologize, I have a Great Dane that is wanting to join the call as well, so I apologize for that. But what are some common mistakes or missed opportunities that you see on applications that, candidates from the military community could easily avoid?
Oh, that's such a good question. I love how you kind of describe those two spaces because I think and just to touch on the military spouse page, I think your part is, whether you're the military spouse who you've had a dedicated career and you've been able to fortunately keep that career throughout moves, or you're on the other side of that where maybe you are the military spouse where you've had to move and unfortunately lose your career. I worked with multiple people in those stages where they're like, what can I add to my resume? What can I actually add value to if I've only been a stay-at-home mom or those types of things. But I would say common mistakes are just not getting help early enough to be able to translate your skills. So things like ONET or partnering with you guys, getting those opportunities early. But I think that the biggest mistake that they make is that they don't give themselves enough credit. I think that there's so much opportunity between, even things as simple, and I don't know what it's called now, but it was Combat Lifesaver. I don't know if there's a new name for it, but there's certain levels of training that, you receive in the military that there are ways to translate those things. So I think that the biggest mistakes is just not really giving yourself enough credit, from simple jobs, working in the DFAC to, maybe you're in the band, there's opportunities within the military that I think service members don't really give themselves enough credit for. So I think the biggest mistake is just not taking that time to really break down what it is you did while you were in, and then, networking and looking for mentorship to tailor your resume. And we actually too, as part of that military landing page, we're going to have some resources and tools in there that are specific to our military community to help them get the best edge ahead to apply for opportunities with us.
And I'm so glad that you specifically brought up tailoring resumes. I mean, can you touch on the importance of, if there are multiple roles within your organization that a candidate is interested in, how important is it to tailor that resume?
Oh gosh, if you apply with us or Amazon or Walmart or anybody, please, as much as you kind of are pushed into that category for those government roles and you have that master resume, it's always great to have like the abundance of experience, but take that time to tailor for every opportunity. As a recruiter, if we're looking through hundreds of resumes or even maybe limited capacity, we want to make sure that you are telling me exactly what it is you're capable of and how it relates to this position. There's so many resources now. I mean, as simple as throwing it into a AI service, ChatGPT. There's so many opportunities now that you can actually say, hey, take this job description, take my resume, and make these translate, because you are going to get yourself an interview. If I can see that you can do the job, if you have 5 out of the 10 skills or 6 out of the 10 skills that we're looking for, and that is highlighted at the top of your resume right away, you're more than likely going to move forward for an interview. So definitely tailor for each role. Great question.
And we see with a lot of companies, because you might have one position that has 500 applications. Do you use, is it still a human going through those resumes, or do you rely on a system to go through the resumes as well?
I am both equally happy and unhappy to report that we go through every single resume. Although we do have an ATS, we don't have one that automatically goes through resumes. We are very much a human organization in that aspect. Now, again, to kind of go back to your previous question, it's a little bit easier to get through resumes when I see maybe a cover letter that's directed to the wrong company. Well, I don't even need to see your resume. So, definitely keeping in mind that if I'm reading it, I've got limited time and I need to get through it.
Awesome. For those who are open to, I apologize. It's what happens when you're a military spouse and the kids get off the bus and the dogs come in. I sincerely apologize. But for those who are open to relocating after the transition, does the Kinetic Group offer any kind of relocation packaging?
It's a great question. So it depended on opportunity. We definitely we don't want to limit ourselves. So I have this conversation anytime I have an intake conversation with a manager who's looking to backfill or open up a new opportunity. We always have that conversation on the front end. So if you apply with us, and you are anticipating having to relocate, which is very likely for the military or service members coming out of the military, I'm going to have that information ahead of time. It can be as big as a relocation package that's typically reserved for some of our more director and above level roles, or jobs that are really important to the company, or somewhere in the one-time sign-on bonus kind of arena. But yeah, we definitely have that information up front, and we do offer assistance. Great question.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know, during the call, Cody mentioned mentorship, and which is just an important part of a successful transition. What kind of resources or communities does the Kinetic Group have to help new team members transitioning out of the military feel supported? Like, do you have any kind of ERGs or onboarding programs, peer mentorships?
Great question. So actually, we're in this really fun space right now. We're getting to build out all of our learning and development resources. So one of those is going to be a brand new mentorship program, and I'm happy to share that we will have a designated area within our mentorship program that is going to be for anybody coming out of the military, so that they have some kind of designated person. Now, we don't have established ERGs, but we do have what we call ACE. Cody might have to chime in here. I can't remember what ACE stands for. Ammunition, Community, and Engagement. But it kind of founded in Lewiston, and it's a really great, more community-focused program. Remington has now adopted that program as well, and I know historically Federal had something similar. So not quite an ERG, but very much a community-focused group where people can come together and volunteer within their communities. And then additional resources. So we do. We're creating kind of mini modules for any level of development. So it would be anybody within maybe production wanting to get into more of a supervisor capacity type of role, whether that's servant leadership. So we're actually in the process right now of building out some of those resources. And then we've leaned in to learn. Each of our sites is very unique. And they have other, their own unique roles and opportunities. And so we have compiled all of that within a learning and development page that goes through and highlights each of those items. One example that comes to mind is a backup line lead. So it's an opportunity to kind of job shadow and train and learn how to, be within that role. And then also too, I should mention that Remington is an approved SkillBridge partner. So it's been a little bit of a learning curve for us to get up and running, but that will be coming soon. We should be advertising as soon as the next 6 weeks. We're going to have a role and an opportunity available at Remington for an open SkillBridge opportunity.
Well, that's awesome. And I think it kind of aligns with even one of the questions in the chat, if tours are offered. I mean, I know SkillBridge isn't a tour, but if somebody is close to a facility, oftentimes I see, there's still a lot of misconceptions about the manufacturing industry, and seeing these facilities really can change that perception. If you have somebody located close to you who is interested in a role, are there opportunities for tours as well when they come to interview?
When they come to interview, I think that would be probably the more appropriate time. And again, I'd love to kind of go around and see if there's different opportunities, but I will say it's kind of more closed. It's just for safety, as it is with most manufacturing locations. But I will say when we get to more final interviews, typically with candidates, they will come in. Most of our managers love to have kind of what it's called like a walking style interview, especially when it comes to quality, safety, any kind of involvement if they're going to be in production. They do like to have them come on. But I would love, is there any from my team, do any of you guys do tours or have anybody come through maybe for colleges, high schools, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we tour. I know there just recently we toured some University of Idaho engineering students through. I know through the orientation process, we actually have the department that you are selected to go to. You'll have lunch with your manager, and you'll get that face-to-face with them right off the bat, and then tour through the department that you are hired into right off the bat. So you'll get a tour of that one right off the bat.
Awesome. Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cody. Now, so remote positions, it's always, a big topic. And I know in manufacturing, we've got to be in person to do a lot of the work that we're doing. But are there any remote opportunities within the company?
So yes, we're a little bit limited. Most of those opportunities are going to be, opportunities that can be done from behind a desk. IT, HR, we do have some limited, marketing and design type of roles. They work remotely, but as you noted, most of our roles are on site. We want our designers and our product developers and our sales folks. Sales positions are going to be, well, gosh, they'll be all over the US, but a lot of those positions are on site. But to answer your question, yes, we do have some remote opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you. And, going inside the facilities, safety in manufacturing is very important no matter what, but especially in the sector of manufacturing where the Kinetic Group exists. So, can you tell me a little bit about how, in a field where safety, precision are key, much like in the military, how does the Kinetic Group uphold those values across your different facilities?
Well, it's such a good question. Would Ronnie would you chime in? Tell me a little bit how you guys embody that safety there at Remington.
Well, so obviously we have a safety manager he has a whole team that works with him. Also part of those folks is environmental. We take it very serious here just because of the nature of the product we make. We're not making cookies. So, because of explosive manufacturing and things of that nature we deal with here, we have a very set of procedures that are to be followed, and we audit those procedures to make sure. Usually when a person comes into some of those all jobs have a level of risk, okay, let's be honest there. But when you come into explosive manufacturing, things of that nature, there is an extensive training program that goes through. So we train our people very well. I know I've been to spend a little time in Lewiston with those guys and their manufacturing of explosives, that you take those things very serious. So because we understand getting our employees up to speed and understand what they're dealing with day to day, that we really strive to make we want people to come in with 10 fingers and 10 toes and go home with 10 fingers and 10 toes. So we stress that very hard around here. It's always the first thing we talk about daily with me in everything from the startup meetings to our managers meetings. So safety is priority here and always has been in my 31 years here, and we'll continue to do so. So we take it very serious. We work with outside people from ATF to I went blank on the team that comes in here yearly because of our contracts we have with government. Those guys come in and they will also audit our systems as well to make sure we meet those goals. So that's something we take a lot of pride in, is our ability to do that safely, and also because we do it safely, we also make a quality product at the same time. So that's one of those things we really strive to achieve high marks in.
Awesome.
I'd like to add to that just too, something that we, thank you, Ronnie. Something we have to keep in mind is that the level of, the product and the things that are within our facilities, we have to think about the families at home too. So safety is always at the forefront of everybody's mind. Every employee, it is always the most important thing.
Thank you so much. So, when we're talking about different roles, oftentimes in the military, people think, well, they'll get into a role in the military and you are in that role, in that MOS, in that MOC, unless there's an act of Congress where you can reclass. What does it look like for somebody inside your facilities? Let's say that they've been in a safety type role in the military, because I've heard each of you, when you were telling your stories, you definitely mentioned that you were in different types of roles. So what does that look like if they join the company in one role? Again, let's go back to that safety role, because that's what they've been doing in the military. Let's say that they were a parachute rigger. So they join you doing safety. They're like, I really love what the sales does, or the quality. What does it look like to move into different departments after you join the company?
I love this question because we were just actually talking with our HR leadership today about opportunities for career mapping. And so we're actually in the process of really, really drilling down and redefining some of our core job families within our HMS, so our software that's, or HCM software, so that we can better align people who if they're within safety or production and they're like, as much as I love being on the floor, how great would it be to work in marketing? And so we're building out these career mapping tools within our system so that if they did come into an opportunity, they would be able to kind of see that path, not only just for what they're doing, whether it's in safety and how that would align and how they get from, where they are now, how they can elevate into a new opportunity, but otherwise too, then within our mentorship program. So they would be able to, if they want to connect with a mentor in sales, is that really what they want to do? I have somebody within marketing right now who's actually paired with a mentor in sales, because for him, that's where he came in through marketing and he's like, and then those two are a little closer aligned, but he really does feel more aligned with sales. And so he's connected with a mentor. So I would say those two things, that career mapping tool, and then finding mentorship within the company or aligning with a mentor. Because, right, maybe it looks so glamorous and great from the outside, but then you really dig in and you're like, oh gosh, like, I often joke about when I went to school and I really wanted to get a business degree. And then I realized there was an awful lot of calculus. And then I was like, an art degree sounds great. So I think connecting them with professionals within the company is probably the best route.
Is there limited a certain amount of time that an employee must stay in a specific role before applying to another role?
Nope. There's not
Okay.
a specific timeline.
Okay, awesome. Let's see here. And something that you had said just triggered another question. Even thinking back to I think it was what Jeff said. Yes, he had even joined the Army after college, joined the Army enlisted because he wanted to see what's going on at ground level. So before you can effectively lead from above, you have to know what's going on at ground level. So when these men and women who have been leaders in the military, who are getting out and transitioning in, maybe taking, they do have those leadership skills. They have the soft skills coming with them. What advice would you give to them as far as what positions to look for? Because they have to understand again what's going on at ground level before effectively leading from above, but they also have the fear of also being underemployed too, if that makes sense. So what advice do you have for meeting in the middle there?
No, that's a great question. And I think that it is pretty humbling, right? I know when my husband, he transitioned, he did a little more time in than me. And I know that was a hard pill to swallow, right? Just finding that, finding yourself. What if, what you've done, even though you've moved into a leadership role, it's not quite what you expected or want to do, or your passion is you want to work for an outdoor company. Well, where do you start with that? And I would say, best avenue is finding out where your interests align, connecting and networking and talking with people within the company. And again, we are very military friendly. So you will easily find somebody within our organization, whether it's through LinkedIn, whether it's through this partnership, but finding out where your interests are, and then that guided mentorship, even from outside the company, to figure out where you fit. Now, then looking into roles, production supervisor roles, those kinds of opportunities, anything within operations. A lot of operations will align well, and then getting that know-how, like the lean manufacturing skills. And so just really aligning yourself ahead of time and being prepared, that Six Sigma, those kinds of things that will really translate well, that we absolutely look for in leaders.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And there is a question just going around those like Lean Six Sigma and like certifications and things that are a little more translatable. Let's say that, you are a military friendly company, you have veterans that might be able to say, hey, yeah, I know that school, how it translates. But like the question in the chat specifically says, is like in a military explosive training credible to the company? So when you're seeing these schools, even the leadership schools, how are you recommending that they translate them to maybe if the resume didn't get in front of you, how would you recommend they translating that, showing that they do have training experience in the area that the employer is looking for?
Well, number one, if the job is asking for it, and so to this example, the explosive training credentials, if it, because we often do, we'll say desirable skills. Passion for the hunt shoot industry, any experience working with or around ammunition or firearms. I do believe I've actually had that very almost close wording on desirable traits. And so I would just have them highlighted at the top, make sure that they indicate that. Those are things that we actually look for. So that's a great example. Now, if it was something a little bit off I'm trying to think of something that would be that we would really have to translate. You know, there's certain skill sets in the military that I think, you know, are a little more difficult to kind of like, what does that mean? And how can we translate that? That's where oftentimes if I see a military, or I can often tell that there is a resume that's come through, I can identify that. And that's why we're building out this military tool and this landing page for our service members so that it is a little bit simpler. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because that one's a great example, because we look for that. I would love that if somebody had that on their resume. I'd be like, oh, this guy or gal, they've got the right skill set.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And
Mhm.
I know I've asked you so many questions. I've just kept peppered you and just said so much great information during the session
Yeah.
today. As we're wrapping up, you know, I want to say thank you so much for being
Yeah.
a supporter of the Heroes Make America program. Thank you for the presentation today. Thank you to you, Ms. Trina. Thank you to Cody, to Ronnie, to Travis, to Jeff. Any last bits of advice from anybody, for anybody on the call that is transitioning before we close out today?
I mean, I'll let my guys jump in here, but I want to say the one thing that I will say about the transition is that it's not linear. It's okay to veer and be messy and go in the puddle and come out, and it's just go with it and just trust your gut. And honestly, you don't have to, like, the expectation shouldn't be here. It should be go with it. Because I know my husband, he's been out for 5 years now, and he's still sort of navigating that, like, what do I do next? And I think that enjoy the journey and figure out what you want to do, but don't make it like you have to be here. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things I think about, you know, he's talking about somebody who's in leadership now, when they come out of the military, going into a job that may not be leadership. One thing I will tell you that I believe with everything in me, the cream always rises to the top. When you come into these things and you've got the right skill set and you got the right attitude, it always comes up and you can't stop it. So just having that attitude about it, I understand. I don't know how great I would feel having to change careers and having to go down to come back up and be tough, but it will work out. I promise you that.
Thanks, Ronnie.
I really love that, Ronnie. I wrote that down. I'm going to keep that pinned around my desk here. That's a great little phrase there. All right, good deal. Well, again, thank you so much. We truly appreciate you being here today with us and all the wonderful information. And for those attending the event today, please treat this as the beginning. We dropped a lot of resources to connect with the Kinetic Group in the chat. So please, please, please reach out. Please connect. Ms. Trina, you said that there are job alerts they can sign up for as well. So even if you don't see something right now, again, Ms. Trina said networking. It's never too early to network. So definitely start doing that. And please take a moment to take the survey. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the same time. And thank you so much. I hope that everybody has a great afternoon.
Thanks, Lauren. Thank you, everybody.